Now, this was a few moments ago. Aidan O'Brien giving the instruction to the massive team of riders involved in these gallops. See Joseph there just walking off, and Aidan O'Brien orchestrating events there. You can see the second group gallop about to occur over about 7 and a bit furlongs. And Group 2 will include the likes of Leading Light, the St Ledger winner. Geoffrey Shaw says a horse many people fancy to run well this year in the Derby, perhaps. He's unbeaten. Cristoforo Colombo. And Due Diligence, a horse that's caught your eye, an American, ex-American horse.
Yeah, that's very interesting. He's a son of Warfront. He was in training in America with Todd Pletcher and ran in the Grade A race towards the back end of last season. The Coolmore partners owned him, but they've obviously switched him to Europe now. They've made no secret of the fact how much they like progeny of Warfront, and he's another very interesting import.
He certainly is, along with Verasana, who we'll see a bit later on. So this is Geoffrey Chaucer, as you say, 2 out of 2.
Yeah, he was very good in the Beresford. You know, he's a serious Derby horse, this fella.
He beat Oklahoma City stable companion, who was in the first gallop. He won at Leopardstown on the debut. Son of Monsieur, out of a Machiavellian mare. Geoffrey Chaucer, white cap, Joseph O'Brien. The other horses in this are Elusive, who will be ridden by Anna O'Brien in a purple cap. Quartz will be ridden by Dean Gallagher in a blue cap. Kingfisher will be the mount of Darren O'Dwyer in a blue and yellow cap. Due Diligence will be Colin O'Donoghue, red cap. Carlo Bugatti, one of your horses to follow, Kevin. Sarah O'Brien will be in a light pink cap. Century will be Kate Harrington, a yellow cap. Leading Light, Seamus Heffernan, a green cap. Cristoforo Colombo will be ridden here by Laurent Loisel in a burgundy cap. And we saw Joseph in the white cap on Geoffrey Sauce. The other one I've missed out one, haven't I? Christy Gagan's on Orchestra in a brown cap.
Yeah, this Quartz is an interesting horse. Never raced. By Fastnet Rock, a half-brother to Kingsbarns. So that's an eye-catcher. You know, obviously you wouldn't be expecting him to show up that well, even in a bit of work like this against with classic winners in there. But interesting horse all the same.
Okay, now that's Quartz, the newcomer. Let's go get Gary's thoughts as the pack head down for the second gallop. Before we talk about this gallop, though, Gary, what was your thoughts on Australia's little workout there?
Yeah, perfectly satisfactory, Enzo. Nothing there that would have you rushing out to back him for any of the classics, I wouldn't have thought. But today's really just designed as a day away for these horses without asking them too many questions. I thought War Command seemed to breeze up quite well there too. And I know a lot of people would have been probably taken with Gare, the horse ridden by Ian Quealy in the orange cap, by finishing on the bridle as he did at the front, but you've got to take into account Ian Quealy's a very light lad. He beat 7 stone, 7.5 maybe, and well, unless he was using a very heavy saddle, that might just maybe be a bit misleading that he finished up at the front there without asking Gare too many questions. Interested to see how Leading Light goes here. Big fan of his last season. Didn't work out for him in the Arc. That race obviously was a bit unsatisfactory in many ways, for all that it produced a brilliant winner in Trev, likes of Leading Light, and certainly ruler of the world as well, as he proved subsequently. I don't think we're seen to best effect on that day. Look at him really striding out well there, pointing his toe. Leading Light. Seamus Heffernan riding him. Cristoforo Colombo in this bunch as well. And probably the most interesting, along with Leading Light, who's obviously already a classic winner, is Geoffrey Chaucer, who, as the lads in the studio have been discussing there, could be a real Derby contender here. Joseph O'Brien is riding in 3 of the groups. He's also going to be on board Tapestry in the 3rd one, just a 4-horse group, that one. And some of the other big names that we'll be hoping to see later on. Well, Chiquita, the €6 million filly, she's in the last group. David McCabe is going to ride her. Darwin, whose season just went off the rails a little bit in 2013, is going to be in the 4th group, along with that other fascinating American import, Verrazano. Conditions, one would imagine, will be pretty alien to what he's used to here at the Curragh today. beautifully bred Juniper Tree in that group as well, the daughter of Galileo and Alexander Goldrun. Tapestry, who's a big fancy for the 1,000 guineas in the third group. That will be the last one that Joseph O'Brien throws his leg across. Jamie Heffernan's son is actually amongst the work riders as well. Jamie Heffernan. Jamie's going to be in the fourth group riding Fountain of Youth. Some familiar names amongst the riders, some less familiar, but Jonathan Killahena, who was certainly up until a while ago based with Mick Halford. I think he must be down at Ballydoyle now as well. He's going to be riding that fourth group as well. So making their way back to the mile starting point. Shouldn't be too much longer then before we're underway with this second group. Geoffrey Chaucer leading light, as I say, amongst the big guns this time.
Thank you very much indeed, Gary. Yes, runners just assembling again down by that mile start for the second group, where we have Elusive, Quartz, Kingfisher, Due Diligence, Carlo Bugatti, Century, Orchestra, Leading Light, the St Leger winner, Cristoforo Colombo and Geoffrey Shaw. So obviously we don't know what weights these horses are carrying, so it could be misleading. And you've got a horse like Cristoforo Colombo who'd never run against Leading Light, would he? The two distances would be so extreme. Leading Light more of a stayer, obviously.
Yeah, exactly. And Cristoforo Colombo is probably going to be campaigning as a sprinter this year. I'd hope so. You know, he's a horse that I still retain faith in. He's let me down a few times, but he's a horse that he's been a very unlucky horse all his career. Different things have gone wrong for him, but I think 6 furlongs on real fast ground could be what he wants. I'd still retain a little bit of faith in him.
Okay, so shouldn't be too long before we get some action here. Reminder of Geoffrey Shaw, so who we're thinking could be a potential Derby horse. You're thinking that those sort of lines?
Yeah, definitely. I thought he was very, very impressive in his 2 starts, and he's bred to be a better 3-year-old. And yeah, we'll see what he does here, but certainly looks like he's not a dissimilar profile to Camelot in that he won his maiden, quite early in the season for Montjuic back in July. He was given a break and came back and won the Beresford Stakes in good style. Okay,
so the second gallop is underway, and one of the first to show up there towards the centre in the blue cap, that's Dean Gallagher and Quartz, the newcomer, towards the centre of that group. The blue and yellow cap towards the right, that's Darren O'Dwyer and Kingfisher. So Kingfisher on the right, in company there with Dean Gallagher and Quartz.
That's Elusive on the left, I'd imagine.
Yeah, that's Elusive, and that's Anna O'Brien, isn't it? Just in behind them. Geoffrey Chaucer towards the back at the moment under Joseph. Yellow cap, that's Century towards the right, Kate Harrington. Leading Light, looking for him. A green cap we're looking for, Seamus Heffernan, just in behind them. We've got, where's Cristoforo Colombo? We're looking for
the wine cap.
Yeah, towards the right, isn't he?
Right. Yeah, the American horse Due Diligence in the middle with the red cap.
Due Diligence, yeah, red cap in the centre. The burgundy coloured cap towards the right, that's Cristoforo Colombo. Just tracking Century and Kate Harrington. And still Joseph O'Brien and Geoffrey Chaucer at the back of the field, the unbeaten colt, as they stride inside the 2 furlong marker there. Still Dean Gallagher very much to the fore on board. The newcomer Quartz with Elusive. And the blue and yellow cap, that's Darren O'Dwyer and Kingfisher. You see Geoffrey Chaucer now just ambling a little bit closer, just in behind them. Red cap, Due Diligence, not really asked an effort either. Leading Light in the green cap, just in behind with the white face as well, as they conclude the gallop. Geoffrey Chaucer always in the rear, the white cap. And Leading Light, not really asked for an effort in behind Seamus Heffernan on last year's St Leger Hero, finishing in behind the likes of Orchestra there.
I thought that was very nice work from Geoffrey Chaucer. He was full of horse. He could have done much more if he wanted him to. And the other thing, we don't know the weights, but the other thing we don't know is what stage of their training program these horses are at. You know, a lot of these riders, the ones that are a little bit further behind in their conditioning, their riders, you know, will be under strict instructions to keep this horse on the bridle, whereas others will be a little bit more forward and can be asked to do a little bit more. But you know, all these things have to be taken into consideration when assessing these things. And I thought that was good work from Jeffrey Chaucer. If you look at it again, he was full of running if Joseph wanted to ask for it, but he didn't clearly. This is a Derby horse in the making. The Derby's run in June, not April, so he'll be brought along steadily. You'd imagine he'll turn up in the traditional Derby trials at Leopardstown, the Ballysacks and the Derrinstown.
Okay, Jeffrey Chaucer, Joseph O'Brien. There's the Sir Ledger winner. That's Leading Light, Shamie Heffernan.
Well, you'd never expect Leading Light to do much because he's really
grinder,
lazy.
isn't he?
He's really lazy, you know, in a race. So you can imagine how lazy he is at home. I doubt he's a horse that would ever set your pulse racing at home or in a racecourse gallop. But horses like that can be hard to get fit, and that's why the value in taking him away to the racecourse like this is especially strong with a horse like him.
Okay, so that's the second group. We've got the fillies coming out next, haven't we? In Group 3, the likes of Tapestry, Bye Bye Birdie, Dazzling and Wonderfully. In the third gallop, that's coming your way next.